Today, we meet with drone enthusiast, paranormal skeptic, and my cousin, Tony Holthaus, who today came to talk about his night paralysis and supernatural experiences at the Grant Memorial Museum in Bethel, Ohio.
Hey everyone, Leo here, and today we are speaking with Tony Holthaus. He's actually my cousin, so family. We've done a few things investigating and whatnot, and thought I'd bring him down and show off what he's done. Also, he does a lot of our drone shots when we do have them. He does a lot of experienced drone stuff, pretty cool. So if he actually, you don't have any URLs with it, do you, or anything?
No, not yet. No,
not yet. If he ever does, and this video is relevant, we'll definitely put him down in the description so we can check him out. So you're not really a ghost hunter per se, but you went on a bunch of different ghost hunts and stuff like that, had experiences and whatnot. So we'll start with what is the first one you can remember that you dealt with?
Just like a hunt that I've been on.
Yeah, or like you were sitting in the bedroom and a ghost throws a book at you or something like that. You know, what was the first experience you've ever
First experience. Had to be when I was a little kid living in the trailer park.
Okay. What happened exactly?
I just remember laying on the floor and just being frightened all the hell and back, and I look up at the crack in this door. We had a door that had like a glass window pane basically, but it was like it was marbled, so you can't really see in, you can't really see out. I just remember seeing a face in it and just staring at this face, and it's staring at me. I'm just petrified, just stuck. Yeah.
That would just scare the crap out of me probably now, and I deal with crazy stuff, you know, like looking out the window and staring at it and have it staring right back, and nope.
And then I guess my second experience is probably revolved around my grandparents when they passed. Just, you know, could feel them or sense them. Not like I've ever actually seen an apparition or anything, but you know.
That feeling of them like being around you, because it's like everyone has almost like their own energy in a sense of saying, so like you can tell when they're nearby. So yeah, that's really cool.
And then other than the stuff me and you've done, you know, gone out and done some crazy things.
That's true. What was one of your fun experience with that then?
Probably when we went to do the bridge in Crittenden, Kentucky.
Yeah.
For you that's not familiar, it's a bridge on Bagby Road, down at the bottom near Shady Lane. We did a small investigation there. I think how many of us was there?
There was me, you, I think Snyder, and your mom, and I think was Kayla in that one? Kayla was that one, huh?
No, that was Danny.
That was Danny, that's right, Danny, because that's right.
But yeah, how long were we there? We were there for about 2 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, it was getting close to winter at that point, fall time.
But the story behind this is there was a lady named Anna. It's kind of like a local legend in Crittenden, Kentucky. Apparently she was just driving around one day and a group of men ended up, I guess, hauling her down to the bottom of the hill, and I guess they decapitated her, or they spread her body throughout the town. And a bunch of locals say that you go down to this bridge at night and you can see her or feel her. Yeah. But then when we were doing that investigation, you remember like all the crazy chatter we were getting on the ghost box, and it was just all the electromagnetic indicators were going off, and it was crazy. Oh yeah,
it was like constant all the time. we heard like on the ghost box, we kept hearing the same voices over and over again. What was it? We picked up that a car crash happened or something like that.
Yeah, a car crash, and then we kept asking them like how many had passed there. Remember, they just kept giving us numbers like 6, 6, just like over and over and over again. It
was very constant. Like even with ghost boxes, if you don't really know, like ghost boxes picks up the frequencies of like other kind of like white noise. A lot of times it picks up radio stations as well. So people say, oh, it's just a radio station. But to me, if it's constantly and like the same kind of voice over and over again explaining what's happening, I find that as proof, in my opinion. Just because the fact that it was like the same voice, and it was like there's the same voices. There was about 3 different voices. There was like a female and a couple men, and like it kept saying like, well, where did the car come from? Like down this road or something like that. And I would say yes, and we came down, and I'm like, okay, what happened? Fire. And it was like found out like there's like a car crash. I think the first car hit the bridge because there's like at one point there's like cinder blocks up holding up the side of the bridge for safety. One hit that, another car came around the corner and smacked the back of it and like pushed the other one down, caught fire. Like I think 6 people died, I think, and 7 people were there, something like that.
Yeah, it was 6 people died, 7 were there, and then they just kept saying like I remember them saying help and all that. It was crazy. But then we also done a few other investigations at like graveyards and just going around and looking.
Exactly.
Hunting.
And we got a lot more coming up with Tony as well, because and where his area is, there's a lot of different locations and stuff, and we're planning on one whole day just going down and shooting a bunch of cool different things, investigating some things, and hopefully like being able to record moments like that, because that's one of the problems. Was like back in the day, I had the equipment but never really a camera, so it was hard. But if I would have had the footage, I would have showed it up. If I can find the EVP, I still want to put it up on here, but it was a really cool experience, I'd say. That's cool. So then, how old were you when the first experience happened? I guess, like you said,
I was probably about 5 or 6.
Wow, so been experiencing some things for about 20 years, I guess, every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Wow. Would you ever consider yourself like ever getting into more like ghost hunting and stuff, or becoming a ghost hunter per se, like as in title wise?
No, I kind of just hang back,
freelance and do some things.
Because I would consider myself a skeptic, but
until you see that first apparition show up in front of you.
I've had some very unexplainable stuff happen, like doors slamming in houses. Just the ominous feeling of being hunted by something. You know? But I don't know if I necessarily want to dive in and constantly have that fear.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole different life when you jump into that world. It's like full head in, going all the way, and it's almost like no escape in a way of saying, because like from that point on, every time you go to a place, you're like ready on what's around me, what's going on, like what equipment do I have with me if something starts happening, and like if you get too deep, like how like a lot of our group is, you have to like protect yourself, because there's there's stuff that's kind of dark and creepy, like that can be dangerous. So you'd be like, all right, I gotta wear protection, I gotta protect myself. And that's the thing is like in our world and stuff like that who go this deep, it's like I gotta protect myself, and if you don't know that going in, or having someone there, it can be really dangerous. So it's kind of cool. And obviously the places we'd go, we'd protect you, don't worry. We got sage, it's fine.
You remember when we were down at that bridge and we could just hear something following us through the woods? I actually met up with a man down in Crittenden, and he hunts Bigfoot. And that's what he does, man. He just goes out and looks for Bigfoot. But it just reminded me of like, I put the two and two together, that noise, that feeling of being hunted.
That's true. It was like you could hear it in the woods. Like normally when apparitions, you're in the woods, you kind of see something, you hear something very light. But this was like heavy and moving by the woods right beside us as we're walking, like as if there's a creature standing there. So that's very, actually, I wonder if we found Bigfoot and he was the one searching for him. It's like all the time.
Yeah, and he is literally maybe 5 miles from where I live.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
He came out and we did an investigation one time. So it's ghost hunting and Bigfoot kind of,
Yeah, so supernatural in general.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's when you can say supernatural investigator. You do it all, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for answers, just like everybody else. So.
Oh yeah. It's like, I think one thing is like when you start finding answers, that's when shit gets even more. You know what I mean? I have to bleep that out. That's a bleep right there. But yeah, that's when crap gets actually more like serious, you know? Like, you start noticing things, and all of a sudden you start noticing more things, and you're like, oh man, am I going crazy, or is this going on? And then you realize, nope, it's happening. But it's cool. It's definitely a fun path, and I'm glad you've been enjoying it for sure. And hopefully when we go down, we'll see a lot more cool things and more experiences to have in your stories and stuff like that. So
I'm ready to have my mind changed.
I hope so. I hope you see an apparition, you're like, yep, I'm ready. That's me, I'm ready. Because they're cool. They're very detailed sometimes. But other than that, is there anything paranormal that you want to, that you have any add-on to at all?
Well, we were talking about my ordeals with sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, go ahead if you want to say anything about that.
It's happened to me a lot in my life. And it's almost a constant thing anymore.
Really? Without like going into trauma or anything, explain like what goes on in a way.
The feeling that you get when it happens is like you just imagine laying in bed and your eyes you're wide open, right? You can see everything in your room, you can hear everything, but you can't move. You can't. In your mind, you feel like you're moving, right?
Yeah.
So you fight and struggle to get out from underneath whatever's holding you down, but then the moment you take your mind off the concentration that it takes to move, you're right back in that same spot.
Really?
Just laying back in your bed. There's been times that I've, maybe hallucinated something, I thought, seeing something in the room with me. And other times, it's just like this It's like somebody had laid concrete on me and just pushed me into the bed.
Really?
And then I'm fighting to breathe, I'm fighting to move, and you can't get out from underneath it until it's done with you.
Wow. And actually thinking about stuff like that, when we went to your house, stuff like I checked real quick and stuff like that. But if it's, they have been said, like I can't say 100% this is what it is, but if someone has like angst against you or angry against you, so that in a way it's like cursing you in a sense. They constantly think about it, and that'll cause almost like at night, and if you go in with the ghost equipment or whatever, it won't be there because it's only happening when they're really thinking about it or whatnot. And that's it. It's like I said, it's like a curse to where they do it. And there is protections and stuff like that from it, but on it, they say it's genetic as well, and science likes to say it's a disease, which in some cases it could be. But when you're saying hallucinating stuff like that, I've actually heard many stories of people having experiences the same exact way. They'll see a couple people just standing there in hoods, just standing there. They'll see a couple, like 3-4 people, and it can connect to cold activity around your location, even if it's not connected to you. It can actually connect to, just like I said, a curse, someone thinking about you constantly, and a negative effort. And the way to cure that is like either tell them to, like, talk to them and either resolve what's happening, or there's different ways which we can go over later on. Basically, anytime someone thinks of you like that and treats them like that, it kind of almost like, not in a sense backfires and turns back on them, but in a sense it either soaks up into whatever this is, or they start getting like the bad feelings like, okay, I really should not be thinking about this person anymore, I just gotta cut them off completely. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, we can talk about situations like that if you ever want to go into them or whatnot, but yeah, I've heard multiple things, and that it's definitely a spiritual cause in some cases. I will say, probably in a lot of cases, there is probably like, they drank something before they went to bed, something like that. But I think in your case, since it happens so much, it definitely could be a paranormal event in a sense.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, it happened here and here and here. No, it's almost every other day. Really?
Then that might be spiritual activity that we just didn't pick up. Either way, we'll look into it deeper, because like there is a thing as well that if the spirits in your room, stuff like when they drain energy from you, that's usually what if you have constant nightmares all the time. It's not really with sleep paralysis, but if you have constant nightmares all the time, it's usually a spirit's draining your energy, or like taking your energy, like a vampire almost. And you just have nightmares all the time. You don't have any more pleasant dreams. That's a cause as well. And I think the other thing would be, the only other way I've heard that happening, the paralysis is like hoodoo, and that would be somebody, a hoodoo curse would be something, curse an item directed towards you directly. A lot of times they use coffin nails, stuff like that, and they place it in your room and hide it, and it's almost like a mojo bag, a hex bag, and if you find that and burn it or get rid of it, it'll be gone as well. So if you have any like weird objects that you have no idea where they came from, it's possible that could be connected to as well.
Well, my mom's a glorified hoarder. So.
There you go, just burn everything she has, it's fine. But okay, I guess we've talked too long, but we can continue on this personally or on the podcast later if you want to.
Yeah.
So before we go, is there anything that you want to plug about your stuff at all?
Well, I am a amateur drone pilot. So if you need any drone shots, you can contact Cody or myself, and I'll be glad to take some drone shots for your farm, or even your business, cars, whatever. Just reach out to him or myself, and I'll be happy to do some shots for you.
I'll leave some kind of identification of Tony down below. Probably not his phone number, so he doesn't get any random phone calls at night like, hey, I saw you on this video.
Probably my email.
Yeah. But also, one thing I did forget as well, as I've mentioned before, because it's a Zodiac, interview and stuff like that, I want to know exactly what your Zodiac sign is.
I'm an Aries.
An Aries, just like our little Aries as well. I heard you two I heard Aries, butt heads together because, they're Rams. So if you start punching punching our Aries, I won't stop you. It's okay.
I haven't come to blows yet.
I'm joking. Don't stand up. So awesome. So until then, this is Tony Holthaus. You will see him around a little bit more. We do have a lot of plans going on, and it was definitely a fun interview talking about stuff. So hopefully you learned something as well. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.